On his big boy, a heavyweight boy, and Tank hit that nigga. He hit him so hard that he was on the top of the rope, just like.
Allow Jake Paul's brother to be in there and be able to last with a smaller man, a smaller, older, greater fighter who's mostly was concentrating on defense more than just offense.
Gervonta Davis has elevated his training, engaging in intense sparring sessions with heavyweights as he prepares for his clash with Jake Paul. Davis refuses to hold back, trading power punches with much larger opponents in the ring. One particularly fierce session left a heavyweight visibly shaken after Davis landed a devastating shot.
No, you're right.
But tell people what happened.
Man, I was about to spar. Before I was about to spar Tank, he was sparring his big boy,
A
heavyweight boy, and Tank hit that nigga. He hit him so hard that he was on the top of the rope, just like this.
Gervonta Davis has been turning heads once again, dominating heavyweight boxers in intense sparring sessions. Known for his explosive power in the lightweight and super lightweight divisions, Tank is proving that size doesn't limit his strength. Recent footage shows him landing sharp, precise combinations with speed that keeps even larger fighters uneasy. His control of rhythm, smooth counters, and rapid responses highlight how seriously he's preparing. Every move shows he's refining not just his power, but also his endurance to handle bigger, stronger opponents. A crucial edge for his upcoming showdown with Jake Paul.
Look like they're playing pool with a short stick. Ball in between them. Ball in between them. Punch when he punch, yeah. Punch when he punch. Punch when he punch. Yep. It ain't stop flying. We slowed down. Now we're gonna commence flying again. That's what we do. We reload and come back. Yeah, you gotta get close, man, because we know you're scared to get close. Get close, man. Keep rolling, Cal. All the way down the road. Come to me, baby.
Despite the clear size difference between Gervonta Davis and many of his sparring partners, Tank continues to test himself against fighters who significantly outweigh him. These sessions focus not on dominance, but on precision. He's honing his ability to manage distance, control tempo, and sustain his trademark explosiveness under the pressure of heavier opponents. His team explained that this training sharpens his understanding of movement angles and timing, key tools for countering Jake Paul's unorthodox style. Davis knows Jake's biggest advantage is size, so by sparring with heavyweights, he's eliminating that fear early. It's a strategy built on discipline and confidence, ensuring he's ready for every scenario once the bell rings.
Here's a clip of Gervonta Tank Davis releasing footage of him training and sparring with the heavyweight ahead of his showdown with YouTube sensation turned professional boxer Jake Paul that's set to take place November 14th in Atlanta, Georgia at the State Farm Arena. Tank Davis is 5'4" and he weighs in at 135. His last fight, he actually was 133 pounds. Jake Paul is 6'1" with a 76-inch arm reach, and he weighed in at 199 pounds his last fight. And fight before that, he weighed in at 224 pounds. Gervonta Tank Davis has a 67-inch arm reach. This is why this fight has to be ruled an exhibition and not a real professional boxing match, because no boxing commission will sanction it. Let me know what y'all think about this. As you see, Tank Davis is using and working on movement. Let me know. I'm gone. Peace.
Former UFC star and fight analyst Chael Sonnen has emphasized that Gervonta Davis carries the weight of boxing's credibility on his shoulders in this matchup. Sonnen stated that regardless of what Jake Paul has done to bring attention to the sport, it's now up to Tank to remind fans what real boxing looks like. For Sonnen, this isn't just a fight, it's a statement. Davis's goal is to prove that technical skill, timing, and years of experience in the ring matter far more than social media hype. Sonnen confidently added that Tank's mission is to silence the circus surrounding Jake's career by letting his fists speak for him. A knockout, he said, wouldn't just be a win. It would be a message to everyone who's forgotten what elite boxing truly represents.
Which is to let anybody know that's listening that it doesn't make any difference, that boxing is a real sport. My skills versus your skills, of which I have an abundance of and of which you have none of. My life's commitment and dedication versus a second or third or fourth thought in the world of priority on your list. And I used to believe those things. Now, I go back far enough in MMA that I've had my eyes open a number of times. The fact that karate was so incredibly useless, or the fact that Jeet Kune Do was so incredibly useless, like, these were not things that I would have bet on when I was in high school. As a wrestler at that time, I would not have assumed that I would fare well in a fight against somebody that knew Kung Fu. We had all been falsely led through Hollywood. Not through competition, not through sport, not through understanding of the game, but just through Hollywood. We were told that those guys were the most dangerous guys. So, we then eventually get up to Conor McGregor versus Floyd Mayweather, which had a weight discrepancy, but it was very small. I mean, I watched him weigh in, I want to say it was like 8 pounds.
As fight week approaches, footage and reports confirm that Gervonta Davis has been sparring with heavyweight fighters throughout his training camp. These sessions are far from light workouts. They're intense, full-force simulations designed to push Tank beyond his comfort zone. His trainers explain that the goal is to make the actual fight feel easier by exposing him to tougher resistance in training. The heavyweights challenge him to sharpen his defensive reflexes, improve head movement, and generate power efficiently against larger opponents. Each round boosts his confidence, proving that even against stronger men, Davis's timing and precision prevail. It's an unconventional yet highly effective strategy that shows just how seriously he's taking Jake Paul as a legitimate threat. Lucas, get him. Renowned boxing trainer Teddy Atlas has praised Gervonta Davis as one of the most powerful and skilled fighters in the sport today. Atlas explained that while some fans point to Jake Paul's size advantage, it will mean little once the fight begins. He believes Davis's experience against elite opponents gives him an edge Jake simply can't match. Atlas noted that Tank has faced every style imaginable: counterpunchers, pressure fighters, taller opponents, and defensive specialists. In contrast, Jake's resume lacks true boxing veterans. Addressing those who ask, what if Jake lands one big shot? Atlas said they're missing the point. Davis's ability to adapt under pressure, he emphasized, is what separates him from entertainers who enter the ring for spectacle rather than mastery.
You have one guy who, yeah, he's smaller, but he's a top fighter, he can punch, and he's fighting a guy who's not a top pro fighter, who's bigger. What if he hits him on the chin? What if he hits him on the chin? It'll wind up selling. And that's what'll wind up selling it. The what if. What if Tank makes him do a cha-cha? He hits him on the chin, and Jake Paul, we're going to find out if he can dance. Whoa, 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 whoa. You know, do the cha-cha. That's what's going to sell it. And you can't argue that what if. You can't. I know I get to places that other people won't go and everything else. They just dismiss stuff because it's easier to do that. It's safer to do that. You don't have to bows and arrows coming at you from people that argue with you because you did that. But I don't care. I've had bows and arrows my whole life. I don't care. But that's true. That what if? What if this guy who is a real good puncher, who is one of the best fighters in the world right now, what if he hits him? What if he makes a miss and he counters him? Or he jumps up in the air? Bang! And he hits him. Sid Terrace was a great fighter. No, not the 1700s, but years ago. And Cus D'Amato told me he loved Sid Terrace. He said, Teddy, he used to jump up in the air and hit you with 3 jabs. I said, whoa. Man, Sid Terrace. All right, Anyway, look, I can't finish without saying that it did invoke some memories and thoughts that we've been here before in a different way, where Jake Paul's brother fought Mayweather. That's not forget. And I'm not saying I like that either. I mean, first of all, Mayweather was past his prime. He was already retired. He was older, everything, but he's still the great Mayweather. And Mayweather was fighting a guy, what was it, 50-pound difference, 60-pound difference, whatever it was. And that size made a difference. It allowed Jake Paul's brother to be in there and be able to last with a smaller man, a smaller, older, greater fighter who's mostly was concentrating on defense more than just offense.
Sports analyst Max Kellerman shared a more personal perspective on Gervonta "Tank" Davis's motivation, explaining that Davis accepted the Jake Paul fight partly to secure financial stability and spend more time with his family. After years of relentless training camps and title defenses, Tank reportedly sought a matchup that could provide both excitement and a financial payoff large enough to offer him some breathing room. Kellerman noted that Davis has been considering slowing down his career pace to focus on family life and mental balance. In his view, the Jake Paul bout isn't just business, it's a transitional step. This high-profile fight allows Davis to enjoy the rewards of his hard work while reminding the world that he remains one of boxing's most dangerous and skilled fighters whenever he steps into the ring.
A guy like Gervonta, who I personally think has been checked out for way longer than this last fight. I think he was checked out prior to the Roach fight. I thought this was all going to be in the works, where he was supposed to beat the 16-1 Roach and then go on to fight Jake Paul and then call it a career, because I think the people around him understood there wasn't much left in the tank for him in terms of his want or his desire to be here. He did an interview with Dan Canobio about 18 months ago where he was like, yeah, man, I just kind of want to raise my family. I don't know how much left of boxing for me. I don't want to see a therapist. I want to, I need to, but like, I don't want to take away from my fighting. But I think it's time for me to do stuff like that. So I think the writing's been on the wall for Tank for a while. So that draw was kind of just like, I was on the way out anyway. I don't need to go back in there. And I said it at the end of that fight. I'm like, there's no way we see that rematch. He was so uncomfortable in that ring with Roach. He doesn't want to feel that again. He showed that night. So I'm not surprised that fight's not happening. I'm not even surprised he's fighting Jake Paul now.
During the press tour, analysts Chris Mannix and Sergio Mora observed the stark contrast between the two fighters' personalities. As expected, Jake Paul played the promoter, talkative, animated, and eager to build hype with his charisma. Gervonta Davis, meanwhile, remained calm, composed, and visibly uninterested in verbal sparring. Mannix noted that while Jake knows how to sell a fight, Davis knows how to win one. Mora added that Tank's silence isn't a weakness, but a reflection of his laser focus. Both analysts agreed that when the lights dim and the talking ends, Davis's skill, precision, and raw power will speak louder than words ever could.
And even though Jake Paul tried to egg him on and try to goad Gervonta Davis on, he's dealing with somebody that is not a quick-witted, thinker. He's not a quick-witted speaker. Tank Davis is explosive in the ring. He's fast and powerful in the ring. He's charismatic inside the ring when he's punching. But when you put a microphone in front of him, he's not articulate. He doesn't know how to quickly respond to people. He stutters a lot. He does more stuttering than talking. So Gervonta Davis in front of a microphone is not going to sell. So Tank Davis shouldn't be put in a podium like that. He should have speakers for him. He should have someone talking for him. He should have a mouthpiece. Tank Davis is not going to sell this fight. And Jake Paul knows it. That's the reason he kept throwing jabs at him. He tried to get Tank out of his shell. Tank's not quick verbally enough. He's not quick-witted. He's not quick with the tongue. So in order for him to sell this fight, he's going to have an adversary that can spit something back. Like, for instance, Chavez Jr., he didn't have that quick-witted response, but he had the backing. He had the loyal following. And Chavez Jr., like many Mexicans, don't need to speak because they do all their fighting in the ring, and people know that. Tank Davis, I don't know, man. He didn't look good in his last fight. He's not fighting the killers in his division. People are getting off that Tank train, and we know that he's had his issues outside the ring. The love's not there anymore. Tank Davis is losing a lot of passion, a lot of followers, and people aren't buying this circus that Jake Paul's trying to sell. And I'm glad that people are getting off this train. The commission in Georgia got off this damn train. That's why they had to move this fight to Florida, where anything.
Former world champion Tim Bradley revealed inside information suggesting that Gervonta Davis had limited options before accepting the Jake Paul fight. He explained that Tank initially pursued a rematch with Lamont Roach, but negotiations ultimately fell through. With few major bouts on the table and growing pressure from promoters, the Jake Paul deal emerged as the most practical and lucrative option. Bradley noted that while some may see it as a risky business decision, it offers Davis both massive exposure and significant financial reward. He emphasized that fans often overlook the many unseen factors influencing such choices. Management, timing, and broadcast politics all play key roles. Regardless of how the fight materialized, Bradley believes Davis will seize the opportunity and remind the world why he's a truly elite boxer.
I do. I'm not making no excuses for Tank at all, but this is just my perspective, man. Tank had no other choice but to do this fight, man. He had no other choice. You know, he was in training for that Lamont Rose fight, and, you know, then the coverage got pulled off, you know, and then this fight came about. You know, this is an inside thing, man. I swear, man, I'm telling y'all, this is an inside thing. You know, this is something that Al, PBC wanted Canelo to do, you know, because this is how they eat. This is how they gonna eat. This is how they gonna recoup, you know. As you know, PBC, they got no legs to stand on, man. You know, money going out, not enough money coming in. They got to spend their own bread, you know, for everything, you know, for everything. So, you know, they need money coming in. And their guy, Canelo, left. He with Turkey now. They wanted Canelo to do this fight. And now Tank is obligated to do this fight, man. Again, to save PBC. I promise y'all, man. I'm telling you. You know, Tank was already signed up to fight Roach rematch. He was already signed up, you know. You could just tell, man. I can tell, you know. Yesterday, listening to the press conference, I saw, like, I don't know what it was. It was something with Jalen Love, and it's like a secret. I don't know what that is.
After the press conference, some fans began questioning whether Gervonta Davis was fully invested in the Jake Paul fight. Observers noted his quiet demeanor, distant expression, and minimal reactions to Jake's provocations. While some viewed this as focus, others interpreted it as disinterest. The noticeable size difference between the two fighters also sparked debate about fairness and competitiveness. Many expected Tank to be more vocal, but instead he appeared calm and detached, perhaps conserving his energy for fight night. However, those close to Davis insist his silence shouldn't be mistaken for apathy. It's part of his mental preparation. He's simply refusing to waste energy on theatrics that won't help him when once the bell rings.